Welcome to Goodness of Banknotes, and as you can see, today we're gonna talk about the 10 Canadian dollars printed back in 2017 as a commemorative banknote for celebrating the 150th anniversary of Confederation, which it was between 1867 and 2017, as we can see right here on the front of the banknote. And this is one of my favorite banknotes for two reasons. First, because the details it has, as we can see here, it's the counterfeit features, but also the color, because actually this one, it has a purple to violet color and is very, very beautiful. Also, it's founded very beautiful by the collectors. And today we're gonna explore all the details of this banknote, so you can have all the informations you should know before to buy it for your own collection. So I'm gonna put it back on the support to not shake it while I'm presenting the details. This banknote was printed in 40 million pieces, one for each person, because the Canada has approximately 40 million population, and the Bank of Canada decided to print one for each one person. Of course, not everybody is a collector, but this is a gift for us, the one who doesn't necessarily live there, but we like it to have in our collection. And the dimension, it's 152 millimeters by 66, or 5.98 by 259 inches. Is made out of polymer, which is better in my point of view. It's more difficult to counterfeit it, but also it's stronger in case you wash it, you forgive it in your pants. If you put it on the laundry machine, it's obviously it's stronger than the paper money, which is good news. But also it gives more, it makes it more beautiful, especially on this window, because it's transparent, right? It's very, very beautiful. As you notice, here we have dots, right? That's one of the few banknotes in the world with those dots. Actually, they are named Tactile feature. Is designed to help the 8 people who are visually impaired to identify the notes, which is a great idea. You don't see, it should be in all the currencies in the world, but that said, it's not there. So maybe in the future we can see that, we can find that in many other banknotes from different countries. In case you wonder what this arch is about, it's located inside the memorial chamber of the Peace Tower on Parliament Hill, which it was dedicated in 1927 to all Canadians who died in military service during the First World War. The chamber has since come to honor all Canadian men and women who gave their lives in service to their country. Also, as you can see here on the back, in the back of those 4 people, there is the Hall of Honor in the central corridor of the center block on Parliament Hill. This neo-Gothic passageway with its remarkable ribbed vault ceiling leads from Confederation Hall to the Library of Parliament. The House of Commons is directly to its west, the Senate chamber to its east. The center block is where national issues are considered and examined, and where legislation is introduced, debated, and passed into law. So that is the meaning. It's very beautiful. In case you wonder who is this first man in the group, it's John A. Macdonald, who was a father of Confederation and Canada's first Prime Minister between 1867 to 73 and 1878 to 91. 1891. Under Macdonald's leadership and vision, the Dominion of Canada was founded, grew, and expanded until it stretched the whole country. The second one, as you can see here, he is George Etienne Cartier, who was the principal architect of Canadian federalism and the proponent of Confederation as a means of safeguarding French Canada and other minorities. He led Quebec into the Dominion and later participated in the expansion of Canada west to the Pacific and north to the Arctic Ocean. Also, we can find a lady on the group. She is Agnes McPhail, was a champion of equality and human rights who in 1921 became the first woman elected to the House of Commons in Canada, entering politics to represent the interest of farmers. In her riding, she became an advocate of the working class and defender of marginalized groups such as women, minors, immigrants, and prisoners. The next one and the last on the group, he is James Gladstone, or Akai na Muka, which it means many guns. He was a member of the Kanai, and he committed blood, and he committed himself to the betterment of indigenous people in Canada. In 1958, he became Canada's first senator of First Nations origin. Okay, now as we look on coat of arms, I don't know if you can see that on the camera. See, right here is very, oops, it's very small details. It's very beautiful. Those are provinces and territories linked by their stems, represent each of Canada's provinces and territories. The appearance is based on the maple leaves found in Canada's coat of arms, but also if you are looking right here on the top above of the coat, I don't know if you, let's see, Okay. Those are the names of all of Canada's provinces and territories, and the dates when they entered the Confederation. They are repeated in English and French across the top and the bottom of the large window. The order in which the names appear follows the official order of precedence and lists the provinces followed by the territories. That's very interesting. In case you wonder what this owl bouquet is it about, if you know, please write down on the comments section. If you're not Canadian, of course, and if you know what's that, type it down before you follow this video. It's very beautiful. I like it a lot. The glitters. So the owl bouquet, it's a stone cut and stencil print by acclaimed Inuit artist Kenojak Ashevak. I hope I pronounce it correctly, his name, which he lives between 1927 and 2013. And he perhaps is the best known Inuit artist whose work helped to introduce Inuit art to the world. He lived and worked in Cape Dorset, Nunavut, which is the last territory to join Confederation in 1999. So this is very interesting, actually. And down there, the arrows, you can see it has also a meaning, which is based on, is like a pattern based on the distinctive assumption sash, also known as the arrow sash, which is an important cultural symbol of the Métis people. The sash also has significance to French Canadian culture. Worn by habitants, the sash became a hallmark of the voyageurs and for traders in the 18th century. And those dots, or wherever we can call it circles, the green one, right? This is a method of the Banque. It's actually a system doesn't allow the banknote to be scanned, right? Sometimes it works, sometimes not. I read a lot of reviews about the system, and people, they are divided on. Some, they say it works and some others says it doesn't. And it's like a code, and it's supposed not to scan it if you put it on a printer, right? And that's why in the most of the banknotes is not something unique. Those dots, the circles, if you see it in different banknotes, that's the meaning for. Okay, as we can see, we have the Canadian leaf here, 150 Canada, but also we have the maples leaves right here. The maple leaf, it's very beautiful. Okay, now let's go back to the other side. On the left side, the Coast Mountains. It's iconic peaks overlook Vancouver, British Columbia, and the name was given as the Lions by John Hamilton Gray, a father of Confederation who later served on the Supreme Court of British Columbia. the view of those peaks shows Capilano Lake in the foreground, named after the supreme chief of the Squamish people. And then we have those leaves, the green and gold brownish color. And next to that, we have the praires, stalks of wheat ripen on a family farm outside of Regina, Saskatchewan, emblematic of Canada's prairie provinces. Wheat is one of the most important cultivated crops in all of Canada. The bulk of Canadian wheat is grown in the prairie provinces of Western Canada, and Saskatchewan is the largest producer, followed by Alberta and Manitoba. The next one, right here, is the Canadian Shield. A forest stands in the bank of the Kipawa River, which ripples across the ancient rock of the Canadian Shield in Park National Dopemican in the Abitibi-Témiscamingue region of Quebec, stretching from northern Alberta to Newfoundland and Labrador, and from the other side, from central Ontario to the Northwest Territories and Nunavut. The shield covers 4.8 million square kilometers, roughly half of the total land area of Canada. The next one, we can see the Atlantic coast. The Atlantic Ocean meets the rocky coast of Cape Bonavista in Canada's westernmost province of Newfoundland and Labrador. The nearby town of Bonavista, established in the late 1500s, is one of the earliest European communities in North America, and the Cape is a possible landing site of John Cabot, who sailed to North America in 1497. Probably on Google you can find more information about that. And the next one here, very beautiful color, is the Northern Lights. Right here, it goes through almost the entire banknote on the top. That's about Canada, above Canada's largest national park, Wood Buffalo. This incredible nature preserve, one of the largest national parks in the world, straddling the boundary between Alberta and the Northwest Territories. Designed by the Royal Astronomical Society of Canada as the world's largest dark sky preserve in 2013, Wood Buffalo is one of the most ideal places on Earth to see the Northern Lights. I'm sure that will be very interesting as an experience, life experience, to watch it live, because this green color probably is gonna be amazing to see it live. So, as I said, here we can find those circles. So I hope by watching this video you find helpful informations about this banknote, and if you enjoy watching this, please give a thumb up and subscribe to the channel so you can have access to the next videos we're gonna come up with on the future. Thank you and see you next time.